What have you got in you?
Session followed by the main race. If last night is to say anything about Tier 2, which could be a lot worse or a lot, fun to and entertaining, let's say, I feel like it's going to be entertaining. Mainly for the fact that last night was very entertaining, racing in it. Don't know if it comes, but let's hope we can get the same stuff here for Tier 2. Anyways, the session's just about to start, so let's get underway. But yeah, as I'll say it, I'm looking forward to it. I just hope the audio is working. It is, righty. So yeah, we got 16 drivers, so that's not too bad. We have 13 corners here at Canada. Turn 1, easy left corner into turn 2 at a hairpin. Up the hill towards turn 3 and a downhill chicane. Right at turn 3, I guess. Down towards turn 4. Short bend round turn 5. And then in towards a left-hander of 6. Another right-hander of 7. And then a nice DRS straight down towards turn 8. Then turn 9. Basically right after. It's kind of like another hairpin. But you get to put the foot down coming round turn 9. As we go down towards the hairpin at turn 10, we go into sector 3 just to finish up the last 4 corners. And then we go round turn 11, which is during the DRS straight, as we go down towards the final chicane at the Wall of Champions through turn 12 and in turn 13 to finish the lap here in Canada. So we'll go aboard with CJ as he's the first driver out on track, and let's stay on board with him to see a lap around Canada.
Standing by.
So round turn 7 now, down the DRS straight. As you can see, the Alpine has his rear wing open, and down towards turn 8 and 9. Through turn 8 over the curb, and then round turn 9, just avoiding that inside curb to make sure you don't slide on the exit. Heading down towards the hairpin at turn 10, and down towards second gear, and then slow put the power back onto the floor, and then all the way around turn 11, and then in towards turn 12 at the end of the straight, as we do have Trey Band for the subscription. Thank you for that, man. The only thing is, I don't think I'm streaming on my YouTube, but okay. I'll take that. I don't think I'm streaming on YouTube. Or is that just a coincidence? Generally, I'm actually curious now if I'm accidentally streaming on my YouTube channel. If so, then... No, it's just a very random, coincidental subscription, apparently. That's good. Anyway, CJ is on his lap, run turn 9, down towards the hairpin at turn 10. As we go in towards sector 3 and then into the braking zone at turn 10, round the hairpin. Very slow and on the power once again, up the gears, and then rounding turn 11 as we go down the casino straight and down to the Wall of Champions at the chicane at turn 12 and 13. The pit lane's right on the entry of turn 12, so we will see some drivers peel off and go into the pit lane, but it can also cause a little bit of chaos, especially if you're going too wide and one driver wants to box, one driver wants to continue, and yeah, we all know how that goes. Anyway, CJ sets his first lap with a 1:11.429. Kick Sauber of Gravering crossing the line to start his next lap. The Haas driver of Jaja has invalidated it, and then it's the Ferrari of Villeneuve who's just about to finish his out lap, as well as Rapid Connor. We go on board with the other Haas driver who's just about to start his lap as well, is the Aston Martin straight out. Also, naturally, it's Connor next, isn't it? Yeah, it's Connor. The Aston Martin heading down towards the chicane at turn 12 and 13. Make sure not to invalidate through the two corners and then over down towards the line. Using the shortest line as possible. Connor goes pole with a 1:10.728. The Mercedes of Mason's just about to start lap, then followed by him is going to be Meth. And the Mercedes, not the Mercedes, and the McLaren. He's on that lap as well, straight up behind him. And the Alpine of CJ is next. So CJ is just about to finish his cool down lap and possibly go once again, as weirdly enough is not pushing. Okay. Alright, we'll go back on board with Gravy Brain. How has invalidated it coming through the Wall of Champions, and his teammate behind him, Monster, just about to start his next run. The Haas driver of Jaja is going to cross the line and finish a lap, so we'll stay on board with the Haas as we go across the line, and it is a 1:11.438 for Jaja, who goes in right into the back of Gravy Brain, who picks up a 5th place penalty, who's also just beginning to, oh, that was very close, as that was Villeneuve in the Ferrari just cutting right through them. Massive incident at turn 1 during qualifying, and it's the Sauber once again in the way, unfortunately. We're going to go second, 1:11.120 for the V-Carb as the Aston Martin of Connor just crosses the line to start his, well, I would say start his next lap, but I don't think he's going to be able to, as Mason crosses the line, and it's no improvement for the Mercedes. The McLaren of Komi-san is on a lap, but Mythbusters goes to pole position by 0.004 of a second to Connor in P2. The Uppity CJ is back on a lap, but he has invalidated it, and he comes over the final two corners once again, and...
134.0
CJ, what are you doing?
per hour.
Stop being weird, bro. Anyways, next up is Monster. Cuts the two corners at 12 and 13 up to the line. What's going to be for the Kick Sauber? Across the line, and it is only P9, 1:16.306 for the Kick Sauber. Just Komi-san crosses and goes pole by 0.4 of a second. The Ferrari of Villeneuve just crossed the line there, and I don't think it was much of an improvement for the Ferrari. As, I will get the telemetry and the data up real quick. As the next driver is possibly going to be Gravy Brain, but he has invalidated it. The Haas of Ninja. Ooh, very slow entry to the final two corners of 12 and 13. Back on the power, he does have the Mercedes of Mason right behind him, who does not finish a lap. But that was Ninja going P5 in the Haas as the McLaren of Myth is into the pit lane. The Alpine of CJ, I would say is about the box, but who knows, we'll see. Monster hasn't validated it.
Okay, we've been pushed down to
Coleman hasn't
P30.
validated it. Villeneuve is not on a lap. The Haas of Judge just finished one. The Mercedes of Mason might be on one. He's not. The Red Bull of Grandad will be the next driver. Aside from obviously Mason, though. That's if Mason goes around and doesn't go up. As Monster retires from the session with the slowest lap time. Interesting. Let's see what Grandad can do with his kind of arm hand and all that kind of healed up. I just kicked something off the keyboard. I was like, what have I just kicked? What if I accidentally just kicked? Let me just adjust his microphone so it's closer to me while I'm talking and sitting back. Oh, is it? Ooh, very interesting views from Just Komi-san. He says the race is full wet, which is interesting to say the least. I don't feel comfortable having my keyboard here, but oh well, I'll need to set it because I need it there. Alrighty, let's see. The Haas of Jaja is on an outlap, but Grandad is on one, and so is not Gravy Brain ahead. So the Red Bull could get slipstream from the Kick Sauber just ahead as we go in towards the hairpin at turn 10. Yellow flags are waving as that is CJ slowing down. Grandad power to the floor, or pedal to the floor, that's it. What is the cover? Anyways. Pedal to the floor and up towards turn 12 and 13, the chicane of the World Champions. In towards 12, in towards 13, and then up to the line with the final DRS zone. Is what is Grandad going to set? It looks slow. It's a 12.173 for the Red Bull. And the Kicksauber Gravebrains crossing the line to start his next lap. Connor is not starting a lap, but he's went P3, 10.728. Is still the time to beat for him. As that Smithbuster's just about to start his next lap, but he's invalidated it coming through the chicane of the Wall of Champions. So next up will be Jaja and the Haas, who bottles it at the hairpin at turn 10. And that Haas has got a long way to the pit lane now to go and stick on a fresh set and come out once again. 8 minutes left of the qualifying session. Who will take pole position? Dry start, wet race after 10 minutes. Valid, man, valid. Connor hasn't validated it. Grandad's not proven either. And Grivrins have validated it. Mythbus hasn't validated it. The Mercedes of Mason is on an outlap. So nobody's setting lap times right now except from Connor, who's just about to do one. So on board with the Aston Martin, who's go round turn 1 and round turn 2 at the hairpin. Viraj Senna. Nice name. Down to the turn 34 chicane and in towards turn 5, round turn 5, down towards turn 6 and 7. Purple sector 1 for the Aston Martin, round turn 7 now. DRS activated on the exit. And it's already low fuel mode for Connor. He's going to have to do a little bit of fuel on that cooldown lap then. Round turn 8 and 9, then down towards turn 10 at the hairpin has Mythbusters has disconnected. Very good, Myth. So Connor round turn 10 back on the power and then up towards turn 11. Round turn 11 the DRS is activated and down towards turn 12 and 13 at the chicane of the Wall of Champions. Aka Quebec Wall. Anyways, through turn 13, around to the line now. What's it going to be for the Aston Martin corner? It's a 10-4, one tenth slower than just Komi-san, the Kicksabber of Brave Brain. Just about to finish his final lap here, and it's going to be a slow one, and it's going to be a 1:11.5, puts him P8. Then we do have just Komi-san crossing the line to start his final lap, possible final lap, as Villeneuve is on that lap as well. Starting his next lap is we'll stay on board with just Komi-san. Actually, no, Mason is on validation, so there's no point going on board with Mason. What about Jaja? Jaja is on a lap, so we'll go on board with Jaja and towards sector 3. Around turn 10 at the hairpin. Evening Monday, how's things going, man? So on board with the Haas of Jaja. Round 12 and 13 now, and then up to the line with the DRS. What's it going to be for the Haas? Crosses the line, it's a 1:11.2, puts him ahead of his teammate by about a tenth of a second. The Aston Martin of Connor is on invalidation, but Joseph Komi-san's right behind him and pushing hard he is. Just Komi-san now heading down towards the Wall of Champions chicane. I agree, Monday. Nice, relaxed, chill to the end of quality. Anyways, just Komi-san across the line. It's going to be a 1:10.2, beating Connor Singh by 0.2 of a second, and Komi-san only gained a 10th that lap. The Ferrari of Villeneuve goes 10th, 11.868 for the Ferrari. The Red Bull of Grandad Gamer is on an outlap, and he will be next across the line. But we'll go on board with the Mercedes of Mason, who struggles to get the car rotated round turn 10. And heading down towards turn 11 now as the DRS is activated, and down towards the chicane at turn 12 and 13. So DRS all the way down to the two corners, deactivated on the corner entry, and then reactivated on the corner exit of turn 13. Battery to the line now for Mason, and he crosses it with a 1:13.215 for the Mercedes. Jaja into the pit lane. We'll go on board with CJ, who is on a lap here. Exclamation mark Discord Darkstorm. It should give you a link. If it doesn't, then don't know, man. Oh yeah, Twitch bio as well, I guess. I don't know if oh no, there it is. There's the I thought it would do it. Anyway, CJ crosses the line and does go to 4th, 1:11.028 for the Alpine. As just Komi-san's into the pit lane. The Haas of Jaja follows him behind, as well as Villeneuve. We're on board with Grandad Gamer now as we go down towards turn 12 and 13th, round turn 12, and then round turn 13. And there's a Haas on the exit who's bottled it into the wall, and that's Ninja. Grandad goes second.
Get
Go
in!
on, Red Bull. Good to see that. A 10.396 for Grandad. What a goat, man, honest to God. Pulls up, randomly fixed horn and all that, and goes second fastest behind Komi-san. Oh, Grandad, if your hand didn't break, you would have been in the championship fight, for sure. Oh yeah, I forgot Myth isn't in the session. Slim Mal, I don't know, I got you now.
Confirmed, we'll receive you at the end of this lap.
There's a Mercedes into the pit lane. CJ is on a slow one. Villeneuve at 11th is big for the championship. Agreed. Villeneuve's got a long way to go. As Mason retires from the session. Vintage retires from the session with no time set. And Connor starts his final lap of the day. As that is Grandad Gamer P2 into the pit lane. The Aston Martin of Connor is coming down this first DRS zone as his teammate of Stray Dog is on an outlap. What about, who's next? Rapid Connor? No. CJ? Yeah, CJ is, okay. Or unless Connor, no, it's CJ. So on board with the Alpine of CJ, round turn 8 and 9. The detection zone is on the exit of turn 9 as we go down towards turn number 10. At the hairpin, round turn 10. Nice and easy on the throttle. He goes into first gear and that was just foot to the floor for CJ, full traction master, if I say myself. DRS activated round turn 11 and then down towards the chicane at the Wall of Champions. It's going to be very difficult for CJ, and hopefully not to invalidate. He does invalidate. He keeps it clean through the corners, and up to the line comes the Alpine. And he goes a tenth faster, but it's not a position gain. As Jaja crosses the line to start his final lap, as well as Rapiconnor. Hopefully doesn't invalidate. A very slidey for the V car coming right in turn 13. Across the line, Connor goes to start his final lap of the session. As Connor sets a purple sector 1. Interesting for the Aston Martin. DRS activated as his teammate of Stray Dog is on a lap, and he will cross the lap first. Behind him is Gravebrain, who is on an outlap and waiting patiently to start that final run through the final 2 corners, and up to the line comes the Aston Martin. It looks to me it's going to be a 1:11.5. It's a 1:11.1 for the Aston Martin. Just 1,000th behind Rapiconnor, so he's going to be really gutted for not getting P6 there. We'll go back on board with his teammate though of the other Connor rather. Is we see Connor enter turn 12 and 13 now. DRS activated. To the line comes the Aston Martin, who does set a 1:10.3 and goes second behind just Komi-san. The Haas of Jaja 1.166 up on his lap time as seen, and it is only no gain for the Haas in the final sector. On board with the Rapiconnor, who will be the final driver, or one of, to cross the line and finish, but he hasn't got a good exit, and it's a 1:13.7 for the V-Carb. So, last but not least, we go on board with just Gravy Brain, and it is going to be this Kicksauber round, turn 11, activating the DRS, and then heading down towards the chicane at turn 12 and 13.
Cheers, Gommy son.
Crosses the line, and it's going to be a
The way it came from.
Got
rid of the cast.
P9, splitting the Hasses. But yeah, I feel Stray Dog. That's 2,000th of a second he would have been ahead of Rapiconnor. Wow, that's actually insane. As we're on board with the other Connor, who retires. Good. That's the end of quali. Yippee! On to the race, which is going to be wet. Yay! Pain and suffering. At least Ryan didn't have to deal with it in the race. Anyways, on to the standings. Just Komi-san takes pole position, followed by Connor and Grandad Gamer. Mythbusters on return for reserve in P4. CJ and Connor share the row, and then Stray Dog and Jaja are right behind them. Gravebrain has a 5-place grid penalty, so will be dropped down to P14. Ninja will take 9th, Fielnerv will take 10th, Milespace will take 11th, Mason will take 12th, Monster 13th, then Gravebrain in 14th, Vintage P15, and Prince Zero is dead last in 16th with no time and a quali ban. So we now go on to the main event. Race is coming up in just a few moments' time.
Big old weight.
Is Enda going to go past this screen, or are we just stuck on it? Cool. I assume we're stuck. Oh, there we go. I knew it was myth. Oh, I knew it. Oh.
Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Rain's gonna kill me. Rain's gonna kill me.
This is one long ass wait. Oh yeah, just for myth again. Yeah, I forgot about that. Lol.
You too. Have a good one, Coney. Let's go. Fucking rain, man. Fucking rain.
So on to the formation lap we go. Now we have 16. How do we have 16 drivers? I swear we only had 15 last
Clutch
time.
bite is good. Gearbox is responding
Left,
normally.
straight.
Make sure to warm up the tyres and brakes. Warm the tyres and brakes throughout the lap,
Thousand.
please.
I'm confused. Oh no, we did have 16. No, we did. Meth, this is not your day, bro. This is straight up not your day, bro. I love it when Myth is having issues. And Komi-san stormed off on a formation lap, Lamau. That's a lot of grass there.
evil.
Careful. I feel sorry for Komi, bro. He's going to be on that grid for ages. His tyres are going to be freezing on the start. Oy, oy, oy. Prince is going to have an excellent start because he's going to have the most warm tyres of the grid. If he's warm, but...
Okay, not the best best place.
Ah, well.
Let's try and get a good launch as the race starts.
Who cares?
Okay, so that's the rest
Oh,
of the
and
grid
Grandad's
forming up
out of
now.
his
Be
grid box.
patient and watch for those lights.
And so is Stray Dog. Interesting. Almost lights out. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's now 5 lights in Canada. And Gravebrain gets a drive through for jumping. And it's now lights out and away we go. Connor gets an excellent start, but he's not alongside just going stand into turn 1. Whereas that will be the Alpine of, if I can get the name correctly, of CJ. Up the inside on Grandad as Prince Aero gets a 10-second time penalty for a collision with Mythbusters at turn 1. That is Prince Aero now up to 13th, battling his teammate for 13th there. And that is the Ferrari of Vintage, who's off the track and into the wall. As we see Prince Aero trying to cut through the grid here. It's yellow flags, but it doesn't matter, and Myth is in the wall again. Nah. You okay there, bud? You want to go do some repo now? I think, I think Myth want to go and do repo now. Ah, poor Myth. It's a virtual safety car. Now, I could take that as Myth purposely causing that, as he did remain on the track. But I give him benefit of the doubt. He was in the wall. He could have tried and move, but nah. Myth being a naughty boy, obviously. Bad, naughty Myth. That's what I'm saying, Gopher. Maybe we should remove Myth's privilege. And it's now green flags running once again, as Indy got the jump on another driver Vintage has. And here comes Ninja on Grandad, who's had a slow start. And that's Stray Dog almost into the back of the Red Bull. And there goes Monster round the outside. And here comes Mello. And there he's put the kick in the wall. Oh no. Wrap a corner, and that will be Stray Dog battling it in towards turn 1. The V-Carb gives him the space and the room to keep the position ahead. His teammate is just ahead, so we'll stay on board with Rapid Corner as he tries to get the grip coming out of turn 2. Gray brings into the pit lane, and that is Mythbusters' retirement on track as Rapid Corner goes into the back of Stray Dog. Yeah, welcome to Tier 2, Gopher, where everything is chaotic. Oh, and there goes Monster as well. No, the Sauber into the wall and brings out another virtual safety car. Yikes. That's... yikes. So, seems to be a lot of swapping positions here during a virtual safety car, which is illegal, but we seem to have sorted it out on track. And here goes the Discord notifications. Yippee, Myth. Try one more. Update, invite? Okay. Let's... Bro, you crashed out, dude.
Virtual safety car is ending. Maintain your pace until we get the green flags. VSC ending. Wait for the greens.
I'll put my cameras on my feet, never mind. Wow, this is a very long virtual safety car. Mason's caught it, and he's got a drive through penalty. Connor has overtaken CJ for P2. There's Ninja now. Actually, no, CJ hasn't overtaken Connor yet, no. Yeah, he got disconnected and the game retired him. Yikes.
Okay, no issues with tyre wear for now. Keep taking care of them.
And that's Monster in the pit lane. Gravebrain gets 14th. Vintage, after going very wide at turn 3. Rapid Corner a little bit collision with the Prince Aero there. He's very aggressive on track today. And here he goes on the Aston Martin of Stray Dog now. Round the outside, a little bit of contact with the wall. And he's spun the Aston round. He takes the escape road, does pick up a warning possibly, as CJ and Connor swap places just ahead of them into the hairpin. But Prince Zero on from the back of the grid to a podium almost, as he does have left wing damage there as his end plate's missing. He's going to need that in the rain. He is going to need that.
Watch out for understeer in the wake of the car ahead.
Okay,
Try
Meth,
to get
give me a
past as
second. Let me
quickly as you
fix
can.
audio.
Push, push. Green flag.
There you go. Oh, shut up, CJ, and just focus on the race. I don't care. Sure, go ahead. W. What a good feature. So you bend it into the wall coming out of turn 3 and 4, and then your car made it like almost halfway like to the end of the in sector 3, and it just retired you on track.
Okay, slow
Another
down,
one.
slow down. Your delta's negative,
By the way,
which means
Gopher
you're going
says you
too
want to come
fast.
play Repo.
Reduce your pace.
Oh, it's a virtual safety car. I mean, you're not doing anything. Yeah, he needs to go.
He's 9 seconds ahead of him.
Meow. Alright, we'll go back to being mute. Anyways, Connor's gotten through on Prince Aero, who's in the pit lane, getting a wing change with a 10-second time penalty. Stop go there. Nobody's allowed to touch the car, and there we go. There's a pit stop happening. Wing off, wing on, tyres off, tyres on, and that is now Prince Aero. Time to get out the pit lane. You said one good drive and then he's dropped down position, so...
Okay,
And
VSC
Jaja's also got 10
ending.
seconds.
We're
What's
going
happened to some of these
green.
guys?
Maintain
Also,
positive
what happened to
delta
the
until
names? There's no
green flags.
names anymore. This game's broke. This is fun. Monster gets a drive through. Aye, aye, aye.
Okay, clear.
Let's go on board with somebody. Let's try and find somebody to go on board with at least. We don't know if it is on the back as well as Mason is retired. Pit lane. Cool. There's a little fight going on here for P6. Grandad leading this small little train of cars. And he's got a lot of battery, but all of them do actually, so it's going to be an interesting drag race as that is Villeneuve up the inside on Grandad Gamer, who filters behind the Ferrari and will have slipstream down towards the chicane at turn 12 and 13. Let's see what Grandad can produce coming out the corners here at turn 11 and then down to turn 12 and 13. Now here comes the Red Bull. He's a little far back from Villeneuve, who hasn't pushed as much as he has, but Villeneuve remains ahead for the time being. Yellow flags in sector 1. That is Mason's car off the track where Kevin Magnussen and Nick DeVries had their moment. And yeah, pretty much single file for the rest of the grid here, as Villeneuve has got an amazing gap on Grandad Gamer, who seems to be struggling now. His middle space that is on the back of the Red Bull now and putting pressure on him. He is. Down the hill through turns 3 and 4. Around turn 5 and then in towards turn number 6. As Monster retires from the session, we now have 13 drivers remain, and that's Grandad made a massive mistake round turn 7. And there goes middle space alongside the Red Bull, and through goes the V-Car, who has taken a position as Monster has left the session. Into turn 8 and 9 now. Remember, no DRS4 rating conditions, so it's going to be very hard for Grandad to retake that position from mellow space in P7 now. Vintage and straight up battling. The Aston Martin is not putting much of a fight against the Ferrari. Back on the power. would have loved to race in this, I'm not gonna lie. This would have been so fun. Aye, aye, aye. Prince Aero fastest lap of the Grand Prix, P11 right now for the Mercedes, but he's catching onto this pack in P10. Yeah, I know, Quinny. It's ridiculous, I know. And the worst thing is he said publicly that he would happily move up, but he's not done it. To be fair, it's round 11, so I wouldn't even bother. I'd probably just say, here, tier 1 for next season, and toss him in. And that's great, brain off the track at turn 1. I did say to Gravy, if he wanted setup advice, just tag me and I would help him. Like, especially before race, you know what I mean? And Ninja on the back of Connor, who's on the back of CJ. There's a little fight for the podium positions here. Again, it's still single file, lap 8 at 35, and I am already bored. Alright, that's just a sin. I know I said to him, but bro, I'm stuck doing comms now without Indy. Oh. I was just in last night for tier 1, obviously, is yeah, exactly. Alright, I wouldn't say podium. I wouldn't say podium. I would say maybe top 10. 100% top 10, maybe top 7. Because you've got to remember, like, there's so many more competitor drivers at the front than there is for the midfield and the back markers. Like, you've got me, you've got Patty, you've got Baz, Robin, who else? Minnie's up there. You've got a few other drivers that are usually up there. Like, there's so many drivers that could easily be in the top 5. Easily every race. Like, say for example, for qualifying last night, I didn't feel confident whatsoever. Pulled out P4, and then was up and down the grid for the race. Like, it's not that hard. Like, there was a massive, like, difference between me and, like, most of the midfield last night. I breezed past him. Robin breezed right past him as well. Albeit it was very high risk overtaking he did, but still, he did manage to get through on them. As Prince Aero has got up to the back of Stray Dog, 8 seconds was that gap. Now he's on the back of the Aston Martin heading round turn 7. He's pushing it, he's pushing it, he's pushing it, and he's going to go alongside the Aston and wait. Oh, he's backed out. He's backed out, and the Aston Martin goes deep, and that is a lot of contact between Prince Aero and Stray Dog. Very aggressive driving from the Mercedes, who lets the Aston Martin re-overtake down towards the hairpin. As we go in towards turn 10 now, that is Prince Aero rejoining the racing line as Komi-san sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. As we go on board and stay on board with Prince Aero heading up towards turns 12 and 13. He doesn't have much battery compared to Stray Dog and Grandad. They have at least half the battery left as they go down towards the chicane. Oh, the Aston Martin almost went into the back of the Red Bull there. Well, it looked like it at least. But Ninja and Connor both have penalties as well as Jaja, so both asses this race have penalties. As Ninja gets up to third from Connor. And that is Grandad keeping a stellar defence. And there goes Prince Aero on the inside of Stray Dog. And he's going to go and try and go for the inside on the Red Bull heading in towards turn 3. He backs out, giving The Aston Martin a little bit of a squeeze there heading around the corner as that's a huge drift slide coming through turn 4. Round in towards turn 6 now, and Prince Hero is getting ever so closer to the Red Bull. He's going to go and try and run the outside on the wet surface on the track. He's got a lot more grip there, and he's going to have the grip and the racing line heading down towards the next corner at turn 8. He's side by side with the Red Bull. The Red Bull backs off, and Prince Hero's up to 8th. Really impressive driving, not going to lie. Let's go back on board with Connor, who's having a nice good old battle with El Ninji, heading down towards turns at 12 and 13. Ninja stays in P3 for the time being, but the other corner is just sticking with the Haas. Rapicona is slightly getting closer to that pack. The more they fight, the more they slow down, and the more Connor will catch up. Lap 11 of 35. And that's Connor with a time penalty. Yes, the Martin is sandwiched between penalties. He will need to fight for that podium position now officially, as Villeneuve has an outside chance of getting here if we do gap to the leader now. Let's see, so Villeneuve is 18, so that's 2, 3, 4 seconds to Ninja. He probably could take it. If he catches up by about a second on Rapicona ahead, he might just be in it to win it here and get a podium.
The fuck was all that about?
Zero gets through on Mellow Space. And Prince Zero is charging up this order.
Fucking
Vintage,
dirty
the other
cunt.
Ferrari gets through, and Grandad Gamer who's having an awful race from P3 to P11. I don't think Grandad checked the weather forecast and he stuck a dry setup on. That would explain him dropping down the field so quickly with no wet setup here. That's very close to the grass for Prince Zero there. That would have been bad. Happened to me a few times last night, so he's got to be careful. But Villeneuve is catching up. 1.6 is the gap now. This means that Villeneuve is now in that gap to take the P3 spot. I mean, not quite, but still there. I mean, it's 3 seconds to Rapicona, and even then, Villeneuve would probably need to overtake Rapicona just to get Connor and Ninja ahead. The Ferrari has a lot of battery saved up, and he's going to try and deploy it to catch up to the guys ahead, but they're deploying it as well as they head down towards the chicane at 12 and 13.
Okay, we've been given a time penalty. It will go against our finishing time at the end of the race. Get your head down.
As Grandad picks up a 3-second time penalty, and that's Rapicona in the pit lane. So Connor has thought maybe boxing early might be a solution here, but the only thing that I would do would box for the inters, and he's went wets again. Mellow Space picks up a 10-second time penalty as well, and Stray Dog for entering the pit lane. But wets all the way around, which is very interesting, because I would have went inters, especially with this dry line coming into the Grand Prix. Wets for Mellow Space, but that's Stray Dog. Managing to get a jump on Mellow, and he's on the inters now. This could be big for Stray Dog. If he stays on them towards the end of the Grand Prix, he will have such a lasting advantage against the other drivers. He just needs to stick onto that racing line. He'll have the most grip there. If he touches the wet side of the circuit, he's going to have a tough time trying to cool the tyre. Well, he will have a good time cooling the tyres, but he will be able to easily slide. As you just seen there, drifting going on as Ninja overtakes P2 for P2, obviously. So he's overtaken CJ, and that is Komasan into the pit lane. What's it going to be for the McLaren?
Okay, keep an eye on that gap ahead, please.
And he goes on to this as well. Interesting tracks. top 3 in the pit lane. Where does CJ go to? Connor in the pit lane, he's going the inters as well. CJ and Ninja, so they all opt for the inters as well as Villeneuve. As that's Prince Aero who stayed out on track on the wets. He's now taking second. But all's to play for here for the inter runners now as they come right out ahead of Rapid Connor. Good strategy from the inter runners there to get ahead of Rapid Connor. Very bad strategy from Connor there, unfortunately. As Jaja staying out as well. Keep an eye on the gap between Connor and Ninja, because if that drops, that is when you know it's inters instead of the wet tyres. He will have a lot more grip, but that grip does come at a loss. The cornering. Ooh, he's getting desperate to get through on the Haas here. Onto the curb he goes. And he's bottomed out and given the inter runners a little chance to get away from him. And even here comes Connor now. From 0.3 second time penalty.
Okay, so gap to the car
Straight off
ahead,
with the fast lap. Interesting.
5.8 seconds.
So the guy on inters is setting the fast lap. Well, what do you know? I did say the inters will be quicker. As now Connor is starting to struggle, and now the other Connor's on the back of him. Villeneuve is tailing a little bit here. The gap to leader is 18 seconds from Villeneuve. Insane. That gap is huge to Comey though. That's like 14 seconds to the next driver. Oh boy. We're gonna have one of these races. Have fun. So just about 20 laps remain here in Canada. And the majority of the track, or the majority of the grid, have time penalties, which I'm just going to pull up on screen real quick. Stray Dog has a 10. Interesting. Oh, what was that in the background? Something happened, and Prince Aero's in the pit lane, but there was something happening between the two corners there. As, one of them seemed to have just got a little bit slidey on the exit, as that is Gravy Brain into the wall, and now he's binned it. Oh. And blue flags. Here comes Comey. Not Comey, CJ. Here goes CJ and Ninja. Rapid Connor in 4th, followed by Villeneuve in P5, the other Connor in P6, who's probably had a moment, and he's just dropped behind Villeneuve now, who's pushing it, and he is going to get a podium here if he stays with this group. As long as he doesn't get 3 seconds out now, that is. As Jaja gets one, and that's up him up to 6 now. Just a friendly reminder, I will not be doing podium interviews for tonight. I know the conditions are perfect, but it's been one really long night and I just want to go to sleep.
And gap to the car in front, 6.1 seconds.
Ninja sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. Oh, and that's Kobe-san in the wall! Kobe-san's bottled it! Haha! Ah, and his gap's kept him alive. Wow, of course. Look at that. Hey, big up David. There's things, man. 9 seconds now. If the conditions keep getting drier, I can see CJ catching up to Comey. And you can't even say, oh, Comey's had a bad race. He did it to himself. Like, for God's sake, he was 14 seconds ahead of CJ at one point. Bottled it on the wrong tyre. And then bottled it again coming through turn 3. And if he says, oh, I had a bad race in Canada, bro, shut up. He's tier 1 and nobody can even, like, we can't do anything about it because it's towards the end of the it's towards the end of the season, nobody cares. You know what I mean? Granted, we've been saying this all season long, but yeah. Kobe does Kobe things, and Kobe is leading. But that gap is dwindling down. 8.8 now to CJ. And here comes Ninja on the Alpine. Oh, it's blue flags. Who's off? It's Mellow Space at turn 2. Oh yeah, yeah. The back marker's not having fun out there. How's Grandad getting along? He's not doing too bad. Connor sets the fast lap now. The tyres are getting quicker. As just Komi-san is now starting to struggle on the wets here. The wets were the wrong decision. To be fair, right, would it have been better to go wet then inters or wet inter? Because at the moment, right, with CJ catching, it means the inters are coming into play. But with how the track degradation is with tyres, it could mean you lose that time as well. Look at me, look at that. Kobe-san's already gained a second just because these two are battling like buffoons. Instead of playing together and try to catch up to Kobe. Like for example, if they want to topple Villeneuve from the top of the standings, they need to catch up to Kobe and overtake. I mean, if Villeneuve is going to be on a podium anyway, I mean, he's right behind two drivers. Actually, you know what? No, Ninja is 3.1. Even if Villeneuve overtakes Rapconnor, he still needs to gain about 5/10 on Ninja, and even then, the battle with Connor will slow them down. So I don't think Villeneuve will even get a podium. Max P4, if he doesn't get a time penalty. But it will be P3 and Metal Space retires in the pit lane. Cool. But it will be P3 if Ninja picks up a 3-second time penalty again. Which is very easy to do in this tricky conditions. Look at that, straight up picking up a 3 again. Up to 13-second time penalties. Getting a 10-second for speeding in the pit lane and then a 3 for corner cutting, unfortunately. But yeah, look at that. Komi-san now struggling on the wets. He's slowing down a lot here. And CJ, I mean, it just allows CJ to catch up. 8.6 is the gap now. Back down to what it was before they two started fighting. And Komi-san got a little bit of a gap. But yeah, all Ninja needs to do is not battle, because if he battles, he's going to back himself up into Connor and Villeneuve. That is not what he needs. He needs to stay away from Connor and Villeneuve. And there goes Villeneuve around the outside on the V-Carb. And there goes the Aston Martin. Go on, Connors! Squash the Ferrari! No DRS, but only slipstream heading down towards the chicane at the Wall of Champions. Villeneuve is through on Rapconnor and is up to P4. 3.8 is the gap to Ninja, and he needs to close that gap massively. They're both ahead or on the inter tire, so it's going to be one tall challenge for Villeneuve to catch up as they almost go side. They are going side by side into turn 1. A little bit of contact, but there's nothing to shrug off here as we'll round turn 2, lap 20 of 35. Prince Zero sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, and Komi-san leads by 8.5 seconds. Villeneuve gapping already now down to 3.3. He only needs to keep these two fighting, and these two will drop massively to Villeneuve as Connor and Connor go side by side and once again battling it as Rapconnor shows the wrong tyres and he's on the wets, and he's now struggling massively like Komi-san is right now as Connor makes P5 and quick and easy there. This is now 1.5 behind Villeneuve. Villeneuve is 3.4 slash 5/10 behind Ninja, but that gap is getting ever so bigger, and there goes Ninja on the inside of CJ. Switchback move for the Haas, rounding turn 11 and no DRS, but it is slipstream to turn 12 as 8.3 is the gap to just Komi-san ahead. CJ doesn't need to fight this. He knows he doesn't need to fight it, but if he wants to catch up with Komi, he's gonna need to fight it. 15 laps left here in Canada, and Alpine of CJ is on the charge for the win. 8.1 is the gap, and the weather is only going to get drier here as that is CJ up the inside on Ninja. No messing around for the Alpine. He's back up to P2, and now he's lost a few tenths there 1.2, Komi-san ahead, and that is Villeneuve now in that 3 seconds of Ninja. This is huge for the Ferrari in the championship. As long as he can fight this, he could be on for a good result, and it's been a good result in the last couple of races where he's dropped off the place and dropped down positions and crashed out. So seeing Villeneuve back on form on the podium could be good. Very good, David. Hey, yo, Buck the boss, welcome to the chat, mate. That's just no reaction to everything you say, David. Anyways, that's a beautiful move for CJ to keep position, but he's now losing a lot more time to Komi. 8.2 is still the gap, and he's just hovering around that. If he needs to, he's going to need to catch up. It is now the inter-tires wetness that we kind of want to see on the track for these inter-runners, but not for the wets. Is now that gap to Komi-san's less than 8 seconds. It's hovering around there, and it's getting ever so smaller. As Villeneuve now 1.6 behind Ninja. That Ferrari is flying. He's going to be on the back of CJ as well. This could put the Alpine under pressure as Prince Zero goes fastest with a good lap time. Pretty much, David, pretty much. Very good. Prince Zero on the back of corner there as the other corner picks up a 3 second time penalty, pushing it to 6 seconds. This means that Prince Zero will officially get P5, and he's hoping to catch a little bit more vintage in P7 though, 19 seconds behind the Mercedes, so it's going to be an interesting final laps here in Canada as Ninja sticking with the back of CJ. Villeneuve has lost a lot of time to the Haas and the Alpine. 2.3 is the gap now. It used to be 1.5, I'm pretty sure, so we'll see what can happen in the next couple of laps. We see we've seen Villeneuve absolutely storming it around Canada. He just needs to get a good couple laps in to catch up and keep these two fighting. 6.5 is the gap to Komi-san now from CJ, as there goes Ninja swapping the positions, and that is CJ backing out as Ninja now up to P2, and he's now only 2 seconds, more than 2 seconds behind. Oh, that's Komi-san into the pit lane onto the mediums. Is it stopped raining? I think it stopped raining. It has. Oh, a little bit collision for the CJ and Ninja. CJ's gonna love that. I call him PJ. Prince Zero has boxed on in the mediums as well as Connor, and then Vintage is into the pit lane. Grandad Gamer barrels it in as well. Rapper Connor in the V-carb into the pit lane. Ninja probably, not just Ninja. Jaja will possibly as well, as CJ and Ninja are both battling it still side by side, heading round turn 6 and 7, and that goes the Haas up to P1 as CJ is battling it with him all the way down towards the next chicane. It's turn 8 and 9, round 9 now, and CJ has lost the position to the Haas. Lap 23 of 35 and is going to the dries. Would it be better to go the softs though, as the softs will be a lot quicker and they will last towards the end of the Grand Prix. To be fair, 13 laps on the softs doesn't sound too bad. DRS enabled. This might be huge for CJ. With the DRS now, he's going to be able to catch up to Ninja even better. Does Ninja stay out though, or does he box? Nope, the both of them are into the pit lane. And none of them pick up a 10-second time penalty. Prince Zero up to P4 on Villeneuve now, and they go in battle all the way to the end of the Grand Prix. Komi-san still out in the lead technically, as he now comes around the final two corners at 12 and 13 across the line and overtakes CJ and Ninja to go back on to the top step of the podium. Ninja and CJ come out the pit lane. Prince Zero is right on their heels, but they're going to come out way ahead of the Mercedes heading round turn 1 and 2. And it's now CJ. Oh, a little slide coming out the pit lane for CJ. He's lost a lot of time to Ninja now. 1.6 is the gap to the Haas, and Prince Zero's only 2 seconds behind him. Villeneuve is a lot further down the order than Ninja is, so did he box a little early, or was it the perfect time to pit? The gap is now only 5 seconds to Komi-san, but Ninja has a 3-second time penalty, so CJ is on the push, and on the march he is to try and take the position from the McLaren. I wouldn't say that, David. I'd more say that I couldn't give a shit about your situation. It put me to sleep last night, basically. gap is now less than a second from CJ to Ninja, or Ninja to CJ, however you want to put it. And Prince Zero is 2.3, Villeneuve is 1.2. This is where Grandad could come into play. He has opted for the dry setup, so maybe it's a good option. But that gap between Comey and Ninja is now gained a second from what it was. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens in the next 10 laps. All CJ needs to do is stick to the back of Ninja, and he's got this race. He's on P2. As Vintage gets through on Rapid who's in the pit lane. Grandad Gamer gets a 3-second time penalty and does overtake the sister car for P8. There's not much still happening. The gap to Ninja and Komi-san now 5.8. Komi-san now is just going flat out. And yeah, it's looking more like it's going to be Komi-san's race again. So yeah, this isn't the first time we've seen Combi gap P2 by like a considerable large amount. Like say for example, right, if we booted Komi-san, it'd be a fight for P2, and even then, if CJ picks up a 3, it's even better of a fight because then Prince Zero's in the mix, and Villeneuve. As CJ's on the inside, he backs out in towards the wall of champions we go. And there goes Komi-san, fastest of them all, 16.0 for the McLaren driver. And CJ's got the fastest now, 15.6, and he's into the back of the Haas. There's Connor now with the fastest at 15.2. So Villeneuve down in P6, he will take P4. Actually no, he won't. He'll only take P5 ahead of Connor. He's so far behind Prince Zero. He's going fastest as well. Interesting. That is Connor and Jaja swapping places. And Coleman stand fastest sector 2. As that's CJ stealing it. CJ's got the fastest sector 2. DRS activated for the Alpine. He's just sitting behind the Haas, he's not pushing. This is just allowing Prince Zero to catch up, Connor as well, and maybe even see Villeneuve here as Ninja picks up another 3-second time penalty, putting him now officially behind Prince Zero. And through goes CJ for P2 officially, and the Alpine is back up, and he's got a little bit of contact and forced the Alpine off to the left side of the track. He's going to battle it in towards turn 3, and the Alpine goes round the outside beautifully ahead of the Haas. Connor on the back, he's in DRS of Ninja now, not Ninja, Prince Zero.
4.7 seconds.
Connor sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, 14.4 for the V-Carb driver on the softs. And look at that, Prince Zero under pressure from Connor. Connor doesn't need to fight this, right? Because he's got 3 seconds more than Prince Zero. So him fighting it is just screwing his race from Villeneuve now. That already works with the Mercedes to pull, but the gap is already 1.6. He's going to need to gain 6 seconds in 7 laps. And it's one tall order as Ninja takes P2 once again. Connor setting the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. And Prince Zero's chasing him down very quietly. As the gap to... oh, there's a yellow flag. That is Rapid Connor. As Ninja gets a 9... oh, no way. Ninja's up to 9 as well as Connor's up to 9. This has allowed Villeneuve to take P3. Incredible stuff.
Keep managing your tyres, manage your tyres.
And there goes CJ on the back of Ninja. He's fighting it with all of his life. But yeah, Villeneuve will take P3 here. And CJ will move up to second. And Komi-san will win the Grand Prix as Jaja picks up another 3-second time penalty. Zero on the back of Connor. He will have the DRS. Here he comes. Prince Zero goes to the right of Connor and through he goes. The Mercedes is up to 4th. And the Villeneuve has dropped off a little bit. And when I say a little bit, a lot actually. He's 2.8 now behind PG Connor. And that is Ninja and CJ battling it in towards turn 1 and 2 again. Once again, these two just are not separable. As Prince Zero is now in the fight for P4. Only 4 drivers that have not picked up a penalty this race, and those 4 drivers are just Gomi-san, CJ, Villeneuve, and Vintage. As Purple Sector 1 goes to Prince Zero, who's on the back of Ninja. He's going to have the DRS. He's going to try and go to the right, go to the left. Backs off a little bit behind the Haas driver and in towards turns 8 and 9 we go. Rapid Connor picks up a 3-second time penalty down in P10. It's getting spicy, it's getting lovely, and it is getting dangerous between these 4 drivers. Villeneuve now 2.7 from this pack, and he will 100% take a podium here if he just catches up ever so slightly as we go down towards turn 12 and 13. DRS activated, everybody's kind of frantic, trying to make a move here. Connor goes defensive, not Connor, CJ goes defensive, and Ninja into the side of him, and it's too wide, and the CJ picks up at 3 seconds. This has allowed Villeneuve now to try and go for P2. But that is not going to happen with Villeneuve now losing a lot of time, and it's 3 wide in towards turn 1 was never going to work, and that's Connor Round as Prince Zero takes 4th. Villeneuve up to P5, that's 1 trouble out of his way. He's 2.8 behind Prince Zero, and that is just Komi-san picking up a 3-second time penalty. But it doesn't matter, he's far too far ahead of everybody else. As Grandad picks up a 3-second time penalty down at P12. And Stray Dog with another 3. And the penalties are starting to roll in. Only 2 drivers now do not have time penalties, and Prince Zero is not one of them. But we're on board with the Mercedes because he's on the back of Ninja, heading down towards the hairpin. We're past the detection zone and in towards turn 10 we go. Round turn 10, back on the power, and DRS will be activated round turn 11. Here we go, round turn 11, DRS is activated. And then down towards turn 12 we go. That is Ninja looking for a move on CJ, and he goes through on the Alpine up to P2 on track, but he still will be down the order due to the penalties he's got. And that is CJ making a move around the outside in towards turn 1, possibly on the inside maybe. Oh, and there's contact, and that'll slow Prince Zero to go up the inside. Prince Zero's picking up another 3-second time penalty. Connor's got a 3-second time penalty as well. Villeneuve will take P3. Wow. If Villeneuve catches up like by, if he has like a 2.2 gap to Benji, he will take P2. Never mind, he's bottled it. CJ might be under pressure here. And the V-car of Rapid Connor is in the pit lane. And that is Rapid Connor going on to a fresh set of softs and a wing change for the V-Carb. As we go back on board with the top 4. Prince Zero on the back of CJ, who just waves out the way. Prince Zero to the inside. Will he take second? He backs off, allowing CJ to take the corner. Round 12 and 13 we go. DRS activated for the final time up to the line. This lap as we go across the line to start lap 32, sorry. And Prince Zero takes P2 on track, but CJ will have it at the end of this Grand Prix as long as he stays ahead of Villeneuve by 3 seconds. Connor has re-overtaken the Ferrari for P5, but it won't matter as Villeneuve will still take P3. As Ninja picks up a 3-second time penalty, he's going to try and make a move. He looks for it, but just backs out, staying behind the Alpine. The Alpine trying to keep up with the Mercedes in P2. Who's going to come out on top? It's definitely going to be CJ, I'd say, but it is very, very close as Villeneuve is now dropping down this order. Connor is not helping him whatsoever. I think it might just be grip for Villeneuve, but being behind this Aston Martin, dirty here and all, but the DRS will help him slightly, and he might just get it down towards turn 12. Back on board with CJ. DRS is activated, heading up towards turn 12 and 13. The Alpine is gaining and gaining and gaining. He stays behind Prince Zero for the time being. Into 12 and 13 we go. Very hesitant, as that is Ninja cutting the corner completely. And he's lost out on that chance to get an overtake. As further down the order, Villeneuve now second behind Connor, and he's lost the DRS to the Aston Martin. CJ within DRS, and that is the V-carb of Connor just getting out of the way. Lap 33 of 35. The gap to Gomesan is now just under 10 seconds. And it's a crazy 10 seconds at that. Oh, Connor with a massive snap. We just got on board with that in time. And Jaja gets a 3-second time penalty. At one point, I didn't even notice, but Vintage picked up one. So Villeneuve, the only driver, and I'm pretty sure Villeneuve is Canadian. I could be wrong about that. But if he gets a good result, ooh, moving on the breaker for Connor there. That's very, very dangerous from the Aston Martin. I don't know. Oh, he did. Villeneuve got DRS, but he's 5.8 behind the rest of them. Luckily, they have a lot of penalties. As we go on to lap 34, the penultimate lap. Let's see what can happen in the final stage here. Connor is just slowing Villeneuve down massively. I don't know what's going on, but the drivers ahead with the DRS swapping are just going at it, man. 6.1 to the drivers ahead, which means that Prince Zero will take P3, CJ will take second, and Villeneuve will take P4. Never mind, that will be Villeneuve who'll take P3. Lamau. See if CJ gets a 6 seconds. That might not put him into contention. No, he'll still get P2. He needs to get like 9 seconds to actually have a problem. Rapid Connor with a 3. And there's yellow flags for some reason. Somebody ran out of fuel. No, there's just the random yellow flags again.
Fuck off.
But yeah, it's a pretty another dominant race win from Komi-san. Grandad Gamer picks up a 3-second time penalty, but the fight is not over, as Villeneuve is still looking into getting that podium position. Oh, I don't think it's going to happen now. I don't think it's going to happen. 2, 4, 10. It's close. Villeneuve is through on Connor again. And he's got the full track to go at it. And is there someone round? I don't think so. I can't tell if there's somebody around there, but I don't know. Something happened. But we are on the final lap of the Grand Prix. Villeneuve 7.3. And CJ's down to 4th now. Prince Zero's 3. That's 10. Ooh, Villeneuve is just going to squeeze in by about 2 seconds. He needs to put the power down if he wants to take that P3. As, let's see if Connor, what can he do? If Villeneuve gains 1.5, oh, he's not gaining it whatsoever. Connor picks up a 3-second time penalty, up to 18 seconds in P11. That's one tall order of you're screwed. Oh, and it's going to be it. I think Prince Zero might have this. I think Prince Zero might get a podium here. Villeneuve has tried and tried and tried, but I don't think he's going to take it. 7.7 is the gap. He just is going to squeeze. But it is Komi-san who crosses the line and wins in Canada. Prince Zero comes home to take second from last on the grid with 12 seconds of penalties. But then CJ will take that from him to finish second. Prince Zero is currently P3. Ninja is P4. But Villeneuve crosses the line and goes third ahead of Prince Zero. Great display from Villeneuve. 0.3 of a second. And the Ferrari is back on podium once again. Grandad Gamer will drop down to P8. Vintage will take P7. Stray Dog P9. Jaja will take P10. Gravy Brain will take P11. And Connor will finish dead last. On track and with the penalties. Wow, what a race. That was interesting. podium celebrations, yada yada yada, and we're on to the race results.
Rain
Comisan takes
fucked me
the
up,
win,
man.
followed by CJ and Villeneuve in P3, Princero 4th, Ninja P5, Connor P6, Vintage P7, Grandad Gamer P8, Straight Up P9, Jaja P10, Groove P11, Connor in P12, Mel Spaced with the DNF at 13th, as well as Monster, Mason, and Myth.